Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. China has said that Britain would bear all consequences for any move it took to offer Hong Kong citizens a path to settlement in the UK without specifying what countermeasures Beijing might take. The announcement comes after British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said that China's imposition of a security law on Hong Kong was a clear and serious violation of the 1984 Joint Declaration, and that Britain would offer around 3 million residents of the former colony a path to British citizenship. China has also urged Australia to stop interfering in its internal affairs after the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison signalled his government may follow Britain in offering visas to Hong Kong citizens in light of the new law.
The law is a brutal, sweeping crackdown.
Meanwhile, the US House of Representatives has approved new Hong Kong-related sanctions. The measure, which has passed unanimously, penalises banks that do business with Chinese officials. It will have to be approved by the Senate before going to President Trump. In Russia, nearly 78% of voters have approved constitutional changes allowing President Vladimir Putin to run for 2 more 6-year terms after his current one ends in 2024. Public opinion on the constitutional vote remains divided, with some praising the leader and others doubting the results of the vote. Putin has said the results are a testament to public trust in him, but critics have said the vote was flawed by serious irregularities, which authorities have denied. A landslide at a jade mine in northern Myanmar has killed at least 113 people, with more feared dead after a pile of mine waste collapsed into a lake, triggering a wave of mud that buried many workers. This footage shows body bags lined up as people waited to identify the dead. Deadly landslides and other accidents are common in the country's poorly regulated mines, where many people have been killed in recent years. The popular Ethiopian singer Hachalu Hundisa has been laid to rest in a church in his hometown of Ambo on Thursday, as protests sparked by his killing on Monday killed 80 people. Mourners by the burial site were seen crying and singing as the coffin was lowered into the ground. Crowds had previously gathered in Ambo Stadium, about 100 kilometers west of Addis, to follow the funeral procession. Hundisa was shot dead in the capital Addis Ababa on Monday by unknown gunmen. Uganda has offered a safe haven to thousands of people fleeing escalating violence in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Refugees have been stranded in an inaccessible area since May, unable to cross due to a COVID-19 lockdown restricting movement in and out of Uganda. Following reports of thousands of people being stranded between the two countries, the Ugandan parliament agreed to temporarily open 2 border crossing points on humanitarian grounds so people could access life-saving assistance. In Mexico, gunmen have killed 24 people at a drug rehabilitation facility in the central city of Irapuato, underlining the government's challenge in fulfilling its pledge to stop gang violence. Local police have said the unidentified attackers also shot and wounded 7 people in what was the second attack at an Irapuato rehab center in the past month. Meanwhile, Colombia and the United States have seized over 7.5 tons of cocaine worth $286 million in a joint operation which is the largest seizure made in the country since the start of the pandemic. The narcotics were mixed with a construction product and were being transported between the Colombian port city of Cartagena and Panama. Despite decades of anti-drug efforts, Colombia remains one of the world's top cocaine producers. Turkey's top court has convened to consider whether Istanbul's emblematic landmark and former church, HAGIA Sophia, can be redesignated as a mosque, a ruling which could inflame tensions with the West. Many Turks have argued that the mosque status would better reflect the identity of Turkey as an overwhelmingly Muslim country, and recent polls have shown that most Turks support a change. But the US and Greece have urged Turkey to keep Hagia Sophia as a museum, while the spiritual head of the world's Orthodox Christians has warned its conversion to a mosque would cause divisions. And finally, an airport in Taiwan has developed a fake itinerary where travel-starved passengers check in, go through passport control and security, and even board the aircraft. They just never take off. Around 7,000 people have applied to take part in the fake flight experience, with the winners chosen at random. The initiative was set up for people craving travel and also as an opportunity for Songshan Airport to show off renovations. More fake flight events will take place in the coming weeks. That's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.